It's on.
వచ్చారా పిల్లలు?
నేను షేర్ చేస్తాను.
ఎంతమంది వచ్చారు చూడు.
ఇప్పుడే చూస్తున్నాను.
Shall I start? 5. Good morning, children. How are you all? Staying safe at home? Okay. Now in the last class you have seen about personality development. In that we have read about Stephen Hawking. We have read about Sudha Chandran. We have read about, who's the other one? Yes? Stephen Hawking, Sudha Chandran and Helen Keller, yes. Their stories showed us how they were successful, how they were, though they were disabled, how their disability did not stop them from achieving great heights in their lives. Now, based on the same theme, we have our first lesson, that is attitude is altitude. And you have seen, when you read that, you have seen how these three people attitude helped them to improve in their lives. Now let us, all of you open your textbooks at home. If you do not have textbooks, I have sent the page numbers to you, and I have sent you the copy of the text. Please refer to that. As and all, we will go on with the lesson. Underline the new words which you come across. I am giving you the meanings also. Later on, I will give you the work related to the comprehension. So please, all of you, stay connected with me and repeat with me when I ask you to. Nice? Shall we start? Okay, good. Now, let us start with the lesson. Imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning to help you scratch that itch, to allow you to wrap your arms around your loved ones. Imagine having no legs to kick pebbles down the street, or to walk or run, or to bicycle or skateboard, or to get you from point A to point B. Then imagine both at once, which is what Nick Wooji has faced his whole life. Have you heard something like this before? Yes. Now I have read the first paragraph to you. All of you once again repeat with me, then I will be explaining with you. Imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning. Imagine, all of you imagine yourselves that you don't have both your arms. Early morning when you wake up, what do? You stretch your arms like. So imagine that you don't have your arms to stretch in the morning. And sometimes when something itches, you don't have hands to scratch or itch. How do you feel? Even for a small itch, you will have to depend on somebody else. Think, see, this is the imagination which I want you all to go through it. Imagine that you do not have arms to stretch. Imagine you do not have hands to scratch something that is itching, or you do not have arms to hug someone whom you love, whom you care. You cannot show your affection to others hugging them. So imagine having no legs, and also imagine, so now this is about arms. At the same time, imagine having no legs. You do not have both your legs. And kick pebbles. Now sometimes when we are walking on the road, when we come across pebbles, we feel very happy to kick with our leg, kick the pebbles. Pebbles are nothing but small stones. We feel happy kicking them, and we will see how far it's going. So that you won't experience when you do not have legs. And imagine to walk or run. When without legs, can you walk? It's difficult. Without legs, can you run? It's difficult. Can you bicycle? No. Skateboard, can you skateboard? Skateboard is nothing but a flat narrow board with two wheels, okay, on which you will play. It's a game. Or get you from point A to point B. Suppose you want to move from here to here. Without your legs, will you be able to move? No. So it is highly difficult when you do not have arms and legs. So this first paragraph helps us to imagine a situation without our arms and without our legs. Then imagine both at once. Now just we have seen without hands how our life is, without legs our life is. Imagine if a person doesn't have both his arms and legs. Imagine how the life is going to be. Imagine at once, all of you. Imagine your life without hands and legs. Yes. Which is what Nick Wooji has faced his whole life. So this lesson is about Nick Wooji, who did not have both his arms and his legs. Have you heard something like this before? Did you ever come across someone like this? Okay, if you have come across, recall the incidents. If you haven't, let's see what happens to Nick Wooji in the lesson. Now all of you repeat this first paragraph with me. Imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning, to help you scratch that itch, to allow you to wrap your arms around your loved ones. Imagine having no legs to kick pebbles down the street, to walk or run, to bicycle or skateboard, or to get you from point A to point B. Then imagine both at once, which is what Nick Bougie has faced his whole life. Have you heard something like this before? Yes. Now coming to our next para. Nick Bougie was born with no arms and legs, but he doesn't let the details stop him. The brave 26-year-old, who is mainly a torso, plays football and golf, swims and surfs despite having no limbs. Now here we have seen in the first paragraph that how life is difficult without arms, without legs, and also without both of them. Now here in this lesson we will know about Nick Bougie, who did not have both, and he was 26-year-old, and he could swim, he could surf, he could skateboard, he could play golf, he could play football despite having no limbs. Torso. The new word which you have come across this paragraph is torso. Torso is nothing but the trunk of the human body. Trunk till hips. Sorry for the disturbance. There was a small. Let's continue. So we have seen in the second paragraph, Nick no arms and legs, but he doesn't let the details stop. So though he was not having arms and legs, though he was a torso, it did not stop him from leading a normal life. The brave 26-year-old, who is mainly a torso, plays football and golf, swims and surfs despite having no limbs. So though he was a torso, he was swimming and surfing, he was playing football and golf, and this did not stop him. Despite means in spite of this disability, in spite of being a torso, he used to play golf and football, he used to surf and swim. So these things which a normal person, no, not all the normal people, you see, or everybody, we do not know swimming, everybody of us do not know surfing, everybody can't play football, but still in spite of those disabilities, he could do that. Isn't that great? Think it for a moment. Yes, it's great. Now please repeat this paragraph with me. Nick Bougie was born with no arms and legs, but he doesn't let the details stop him. The brave 26-year-old, who is mainly a torso, plays football and golf, swims and surfs despite having no limbs. Now coming to our next paragraph. Nick has a small foot on his left hip. This is your right, this is your left. So on his left hip, as you all know that he did not have legs, he did not have arms. So his body was mainly a torso, means only the upper part of the body, and to this left side of his hip he had a small protrusion of flesh. Nick has a small foot on his left hip. It was just a small protrusion which helps him balance and enables him to kick. So this protrusion helped him to balance his body and also helped him to kick. Sometimes the work, see, when you have legs, you use them to kick, you use them to play with the pebbles and all, but he did not have legs as we all have. So what did he do? He used this protrusion, this small foot, which was this very small size, to balance his body as well as kick something which he wanted to. He uses his one foot to type, write with a pen and pick things up between his toes. See, in your textbook you can see here, this is the small foot which he has. As generally our foot is, his foot was not even developed like that. It was just a small protrusion of a flesh. It was not even completely a foot, but it was a small protrusion. But with this small foot, he used to balance his body, and he also used to kick, and he also used to write. He used to hold a pen in that foot and he used to write. Can you imagine? Yes, he used to write with a pen and pick things between his toes. Something which he wanted to, something if he wanted to pick it from the floor or something which he wanted to pick, he used to grip it in the foot and he used to pick it. See, the small piece of foot helped him to do many things, and how lucky, how fortunate we all are to have our limbs. We have to all have our legs. How fortunate we should be. This lesson helps us to think about how fortunate and lucky we are that we are not facing these problems. So now let's please repeat this paragraph with me. Nick has a small foot on his left hip which helps him balance and enables him to kick. Enables is helps him to kick. He uses his one foot to type, write with a pen and pick things up between his toes. Now coming to the next paragraph, I call it my chicken drumstick. And what did he call his left foot as? Chicken drumstick. What did he call his left protrusion of the foot as? Chicken drumstick. I call it my chicken drumstick, joked Nick, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. I would be lost without it. Nick says that he would have lost without this chicken drumstick. See, this chicken drumstick helped him to balance, this chicken drumstick helped him to kick, this chicken drumstick helped him to write, this chicken drumstick helped him to pick things up. So his life, though he was a torso, became meaningful with this small piece of protrusion of foot on his left hip. So he was fortunate to have that. And he says that he would have lost without it. Means he was leading his life for 26 years without limbs, without arms. But he says that if this chicken drumstick was not there, he would have completely lost. This small foot have helped him to survive to a greater extent. Due to his faith as an evangelical Christian, Nick has chosen to remain virgin until marriage. So, he had a faith in the tradition of Christianity. He was an evangelical Christian. Evangelical Christian means member related to a Christian tradition. Now you have no religious traditions and all like that. He was a member of this. He was an evangelical Christian. So he believed that he believed or he decided to remain virgin until marriage. Virgin until marriage. Virgin means a person who is naive or who is innocent and who is not into any physical connections with anybody. So again, let me read these paragraphs to you. 2 paragraphs. Please repeat with me. I call it my chicken drumstick, joked Nick, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. Where was Nick born? In Melbourne. Melbourne is in Australia. Now where he lives? In Los Angeles. I would be lost without it. What is it here? It is nothing but chicken drumstick. Due to his faith as an evangelical Christian, Nick has chosen to remain a virgin until marriage. He was very modest, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time, said Nick's friend and publicist Steve Apple from Los Angeles. So one of his friend Steve Apple says that he was very modest. Modest means what? He was very kind. Nick was very kind, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time, and he will be getting marriage proposals from many women across the different countries all the time, said Nick's friend publicist. See, now when we all are physically fit and mentally healthy, still many people find difficult to get matches. But imagine Nick, a 26-year-old, getting marriage proposals all the time. It's not a simple thing. So think about it. So how great he was, how kind he was, how good his personality was, and how it influenced others. He is very modest, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time. said Nick's friend and publicist Steve Apple from Los Angeles. His friend of Steve Apple, who was a publicist, was from Los Angeles. Publicist means nothing but a journalist who will be mostly concerned with the current affairs, who will be dealing topics related to, who will be pursuing their journalism mainly related to current affairs. So he was a publicist. That journalist is called as a publicist who deals with current affairs. Am I clear to you all, children? Okay, thank you. Let's proceed. He would love to get married and start a family, but he is waiting for the right girl to come on. As earlier his friend Steve Apple has said that he used to get marriage proposals all the time. Even Nick wanted to get married and settle his life, but he was waiting for a right girl to come on. It's not that because many people approached him, he did not just fall for it. He was waiting for a right girl to come into his life. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. He also plays golf and club. So Nick was not only good at water sports like swimming and surfing, but he was also good at playing golf and with a club tucked under his chin. With a club tucked under his chin, and is a huge fan of English Premier League. So not only playing surfing and swimming, but he loved even to play golf. And how now you may be having a doubt, without arms, how did he hold the golf stick? He used to tuck the golf stick under his chin and play with it. And he was also interested in English Premier League. So he was also interested in English Premier League. He was a huge fan. What is English Premier League? It is a Premier Football League contested by 20 club members, 20 countries. Okay. It is nothing but a football league. So let's read these two paragraphs. If any, look at the pronunciation and the way I am reading and repeat after me at home. He is very modest, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time, said Nick's friend and publicist Steve Apple from Los Angeles. He would love to get married and start a family, but he is waiting for the right girl to come along. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. He also plays golf with a club. Club is nothing but stick tucked under his chin, and is a huge fan of English Premier League. Most of you are fans of cricket, IPL, Indian Premier League. In the same way, he was a fan of English Premier League, that is the football league. Till here, are you clear, children? If you have anything, please comment and I'll look through it and I'll clear your doubts. If you have any doubts till now, whatever we have done, if you have any doubts, please comment in the comment box. I'll look at it and I'll try to clarify it. Okay? Let's move on. His parents decided not to send him to special school, a decision he said was very hard for him, but which may have been the best decision they could have made. So in this paragraph, Nick is telling that his parents decided to send him to a normal school, to a mainstream school. Normal school is what? The school which you all visit, wherein people like you who are completely mentally and physically fit come to the schools. Those schools are called as mainstream schools or normal schools. There are other schools wherein mentally disabled children or physically disabled children will be studying. So he was lucky that his parents did not send him to disabled school, but they decided to send him to normal school. A decision he said was very hard for him, but which may have been the best decision they could have made for him. Now see here, Nick is telling that this decision was very hard for him. Why do you think that this decision was very hard? Can anyone? Yes. See, Nick was a physically disabled child who was unable to walk, who was unable to use his arms properly, and he goes and studying with the normal mainstream children. What do you think could be the consequences in his class? Yes, he will be laughed at, he will be bullied for his physical appearance. Do you think that will be easy? You will come across in your class every time if somebody is short, you make fun of them. If somebody is fat, you make fun of them. If somebody's hair is not properly trimmed or all, you make fun of them. And now Nick was a person without arms and legs, which was very, very rare occurrence, which is not easily found around. And do you think he will not be bullied at school? Yes, he came across many situations wherein he was laughed at, he was made fun of, but that was not easy for him. Every now and then facing such people around you with negativity, it's not easy for a person to move around. When Nick was born, a decision he said was very hard for him, but which may have been the best decision they could have made for him. Again, he also says that was the best decision which his parents have taken for him. At that point of time, or during that course of his life, he suffered a great setback. But now you are reading about this 26-year-old Nick Wooji, who can swim, who can run, who can play golf, who can play swim and surf. Many things he is able to do. Why do you think he is able to do? Because he have overcome all the negativity which came along in his life. So that's why he says that maybe that was the great decision at that point of time which his parents have taken, which made him to be successful at this point of time in his life. When Nick was born, his father was so shocked that he left the hospital room to vomit. His distraught mother couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. So as soon as Nick was born, and when he was shown first time to his father, when he looked at him without arms and legs, he couldn't digest that, and he went and vomited due to shock. And his mother, she couldn't even hold the baby in her arms for 4 months. Imagine, it's when a newborn child, it's very small, they are very tiny, they are too delicate, and that baby too without arms and legs, how small the baby will be. And his mother could not even hold him properly for 4 months. See, imagine these things, how we grow, the day we grow, the moment we grow, from then to now. Our parents, they take care of us so much. We shouldn't forget all these things, children. Hope this lesson will help us to recollect all our memories too. And imagine how a parent must be going through the situations, how mother must have felt hard for 4 months to even hold him in her arms. So you must be down to earth and imagine these things. His distraught mother couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. His disability came without any medical explanation, a rare occurrence called phocomelia. And Nick and his parents spent many years asking why this cruel truth would happen to them. My mother was a nurse and she did everything right during pregnancy, but she still blamed herself, he said. So, his disability, there is no medical explanation to this disability, because doctors till now could not know what is the occurrence of such babies. So it is without any explanation. This is in the medical history. A rare occurrence. It is very, very rarely occurring disease, and it's called as phocomelia. Phocomelia. All of you repeat with me. Phocomelia. Phocomelia is a rarely occurring disease which doesn't have any medical explanation. Already finished. His disability came without any medical explanation, a rare occurrence called phocomelia. And Nick and his parents spent many years asking why this cruel trick would happen to them. So all these years, both his parents used to question themselves, why this cruel thing happened to us? Why only we? There are many people in the world. Why only we? What wrong have we done? They used to question themselves and they used to feel very sad about it. My mother was a nurse and she did everything right during pregnancy, but she still blamed herself. And Nick's mother was a nurse by profession, and when she was a nurse, she would have taken care of herself very well. But still she blamed herself that maybe I did not take care properly during my pregnancy, so maybe I have such a child. So she used to curse herself that maybe she did not take proper care of herself. It was so hard for them, but right from the start, they did their best to make me independent. See, it was difficult for a baby Nick to lead his life, so also it was difficult for his parents to make him to come into the normal mainstream. So to make him independent, see, he did not have arms, he did not have legs. There are many things which he won't be able to do without arms and legs, like walking, running, brushing his teeth, having his shower and all. But they were trying something or the other means to make him independent. My dad put me in water at 18 months and gave the courage to learn how to swim. Very early. See, his parents were not happy to leave a child of 18 months into the cold water. But they knew that they had to take this hard step of letting a child of 18 months into the cold water, because as long as his parents are with him, they will help him. But one day or the other, the child had to become independent. So they were helping their son to be independent. So he dropped him into the water. When you are dropped into the water, you will do something or the other. You will be doing something or the other to come out of the water. Like this, very early at the age of 18 months, hardly 1.5 years old, and he was let into water. To give courage to learn to swim, it's only because too early when he will be able to do that and he will learn to swim. I also got really into football and skateboarding. I totally love the English Premier League. So not only into swimming, but slowly he was also introduced to football and also skating. I totally loved the English Premier League and he became a great fan of English Premier League. Nick's father was his father was a computer programmer and also was an accountant, and he taught him how to type. See, very early at the age of 6 itself, with that small chicken drumstick, his father helped him to type. And also his mum invented a special plastic device which meant he could hold a pen and pencil. A small plastic device was invented wherein he could hold his pen or pencil with that plastic device. So his parents were trying to make his life as simple as possible and not difficult. Without limbs it was difficult, but according to their means and all, they were inventing certain small things to make his life easier. They invented a small plastic device to hold a pen. He also taught him how to skateboard, and he also taught him to type very early at the age of 6, wherein most of the children at the age of 6 they go to school, start going to school. But at the age of 6, his father taught him to type. See children, these are the small things. But when you imagine certain things, we are fortunate enough that we did not have that life. But just think and imagine a person going through this. Just 2 minutes of thought and you imagine the situation, how difficult it is, but he did not give up. One day at one point of time in your meals, if we do not have little salt or a chili powder, we complain, we shout and all. How much of adjustment the child must have gone through. These are the things which we must be sensitive towards certain things. That is humanity. Now coming to next paragraph. Despite of risk of being bullied, his parents insisted Nick on attending mainstream school. It was the decision they could have made for me, adds Nick, who later achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate. It was very hard, but it gave me independence. Now we have seen in the earlier paragraph, he was sent to mainstream school and there he was bullied by his classmates or friends or people in the neighborhood, but that did not stop both the parents and the child from going to the mainstream school. And later in his life, Nick achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate. Real estate, all of you know what a real estate business is. Financial planning. Financial planning is also a profession wherein those people help us to plan our finances. How we will be planning our finances. How we will be getting best returns according to our amount we invest. That is a profession which is called as a financial planning. It was very hard, but it gave me independence. All these experiences of his life were not easy. They were very hard, but it helped him to make independent. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of carers to help him. So, as you all know that it was difficult for him to move from one place to another. But later on, his parents, as they gave him the plastic device, as they helped him to typewrite, as they helped him to swim, they also helped him with electric wheelchair, wherein pressing a button he can move from a place to another place. A team of carers to help. Also they had arranged for a team of carers who would take care of him in their absence. Are you clear, children? Any doubts? Please comment in the comment box. I'll look at it and I'll try to clear it. Okay? I was deeply depressed when I was 8 years old, he said. I went to my mom crying and told her I wanted to kill myself. See, every day, every moment a person is not positive. At one point of the other, though he was leading the life, accepting it however it is, but a day came wherein he thought that it's enough and he cannot lead that life and he wanted to kill himself. Who? Nick. I went to my mom crying and told her I wanted to kill myself. I felt cold and bitter. Cold and bitter. Cold and bitter is nothing but a feeling of anger, feeling of helplessness. So he felt cold and bitter that day. I hated God for doing this to me and was terrified of what would happen when my parents weren't there to look after me. Why do you think he was worried? Why do you think he felt cold and bitter? Because now his parents were alive. If his parents were with him and they were taking care of him, they were trying to make him independent as much as they could. But when his parents are not there, at some point or the other he will have to live without parents in his life. That time what is my situation going to be? And he thought that and he got depressed and he got the feeling of being cold and bitter. I could brush my own teeth with a wall mounted brush and wash my own hair with a pump action soap, but there was so much that was impossible for him. See, this panel tells us how his parents tried to make his life as simple as possible. So, to wash his teeth, suppose there is a stand here like this, and there will be a wall mounted brush wherein he can brush his teeth with a brush. And also he had a wash my own hair with pump action soap. So there was a pump action soap wherein that would just move around his head like that and it would help him to wash his hair. So as much as possible, like inventing a plastic device to hold or inventing this wall mounted toothbrush or soap, washing pump action soap, all their parents tried to make his life as simple as possible. But there was so much that was impossible. See, though they were trying to make his life easy, there were many things which need to be done and that was not possible. So he was feeling sad about certain things. So shall we read it once till where we have done? Nick's father. All of you repeat with me. Here on page number 4. Nick's father was a computer programmer and accountant, and he taught his little son how to type with his toe at just 6 years old. His mom invented bullied. His parents insisted Nick on attending mainstream school. It was the best decision they could have made for me, adds Nick, who later achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate. It was very hard, but it gave me independence. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of carers to help him. I was deeply depressed when I was 8 years old, he said. I went to my mom crying and told her I wanted to kill myself. I felt cold and bitter. I hated God for doing this to me and was terrified of what would happen when my parents weren't there to look after me. I could brush my own teeth with a wall-mounted brush and wash my own hair with pump action soap, but there was so much that was impossible for me. Okay, till here any doubts, children? Shall I proceed? Okay, thank you. At age 10, Nick tried to drown himself in a bath, but luckily the attempt was unsuccessful. I felt there was no purpose when you lack purpose and strength. It's hard to hold on, he said, but with the help of his religion, friends and family, Nick managed to pull through to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. At the age of 10, one day he tried to drown himself. Drown himself means going and drowning himself into the water bath, but luckily the attempt was unsuccessful. Means he tried to kill himself by drowning himself in water. When you drown yourself in water, do you think you can kill yourself? Yes, because when you do not get the oxygen supply, it will be difficult for him. But he tried to drown himself in the bathtub, but he could come out like this, and that attempt was unsuccessful. What is the opposite of unsuccessful? So he was unsuccessful. I felt there was no purpose when you lack purpose and strength. So he lacked the purpose and strength. He did not have that purpose. Why should I kill myself? And he did not have the strength to just drown himself. When he lacked that purpose and strength, it was not successful. It is hard to hold on, but it was even hard to hold on his life like that. But with the help of religion, friends and family. Religion, as earlier I have told you, we discussed that he was a member of an evangelical Christian, means he belonged to a member or club of a particular tradition or religious tradition. So that religion had certain preachings to give. Those preachings, his family and friends helped him to come out of this situation. Some teachings of religion, some friends and some family members helped him to overcome this difficulty of his life. Nick managed to pull through and become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. Now, he could pull up himself from these adversity with the support of religion, family and friends, and he became a symbol of international triumph. Triumph means what? Great victory and achievement. Now he has achieved great things. Though we all of us have our hands and arms and legs, we did not achieve those great heights, but this torso achieved this great triumph over adversity. Adversity is what? Though he had to face difficult situations in his life, he achieved great heights. So that is triumph over adversity, great achievement or victory over difficult situations. So please repeat this paragraph with me. At age 10, Nick to drown himself in the bath, but luckily the attempt was unsuccessful. I felt there was no purpose when you lack purpose and strength. It is hard to hold on, he said, but with the help of his religion, friends and family, Nick managed to pull through to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. When I was 13, I read a newspaper article about a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things and helped others, said Nick. So when he was a 13-year-old boy, he read an article about a disabled man, and this article gave him courage to survive. As we have seen in the earlier paragraph, that once he tried to drown himself. But when he read this article about the disabled person, this gave him the strength, the needed courage, the needed purpose to hold on in his life and manage great things and helped others, said Nick. I realized why God has made us like this, to give hope to others. After reading this article, he imagined himself, or he thought about himself, that why God has made him like that, or why God made certain people like this with disabilities, because only to give hope to others. Now just now I shared with you that though he was a disabled, he could lead a life of triumph over adversity. We have arms and legs, but we did not reach that great heights. But still, Nick could. So when we read certain things, what happens? We find hope that no, our problem is just very little one compared to Nick's disability, Nick's problems, and we get hope sometimes though we are in despair. So like this, he thought that God has made us with this disability to give hope to the people in the world. And when he realized this, completely there was a shift in his life. I realized why God had made us like this, to give hope to others. It was so inspirational to me that I decided to use my life to encourage other people and give them the courage that the article had given me. So after reading that article, he got the courage to live a life giving hope to others. In the same way, he says that now there was a change, or there was a shift in his thought, that now he is going to lead a life to give encouragement to others. I decided to be thankful for what I do have and not get angry about what I don't. So from that time onwards, Nick decided to be thankful for what I do have and not angry about what I do not. So what he did not have? He did not have the arms and legs. So now he was not angry about not having arms and legs, but he was about having the torso and the chicken drumstick. So he decided to be happy for what he had and stopped worrying about what he did not. See, he had a good vision. He had his chicken drum. He had the body. So he thought whatever he could do, whatever he had, he thought of concentrating on that rather than crying over what he did not have. I looked at myself in the mirror and said, you know what, the world is right, that I have no arms or legs, but they will never take away the beauty of my eyes. I wanted to concentrate on something good that I had. So Nick looked into the mirror and said, yes, I do not have arms and legs, but I have a vision which nobody can take from me. I have the beauty of my eyes, and nobody will be able to take the beauty of my eyes. So Nick, he looked into the mirror himself and said that, you know what, the world is right. I have no arms and legs. When he looked into the mirror and he said that, yes, I do not have arms and legs, but they will never take away the beauty of my eyes. But this world is not going to take away the beauty of my eyes. God did not give me the arms and legs. Maybe I am not fortunate with my limbs, but God has given me the vision. I wanted to concentrate on something good that I had, and that time he decided that he's going to, instead of brooding over what he did not have, he thought of deciding on being happy on what he had. The challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. He said that the challenges we come across in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. See, sometimes something we try to achieve, we overcome problem. We go on 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, but one time or the other, these 20, 30 failures will help us to do it differently and in a more better way. So, these challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. What are convictions? Our firm belief and opinion. If you believe that you can do, you will do. And if you believe that no, it's difficult, it gets on. Now see, many students, they go in for some competitive exams and all. Because after that 12th standard, they will have to appear, they appear. But how many of them are seriously going to appear, seriously preparing to get through the examination? If they are serious about their dreams, if they are serious about their beliefs, or if they are serious about their opinion, they tried for second time, third time or fourth time until they achieve it, but they do not give it away. So the challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our and beliefs. They are not there to run us down. They are not there to run us down. What do you mean by run us down? They are not there to disappoint us. They are there to strength. Suppose first time you try to do something, you fail. But second time when you do, the experience of the failure will help you to do it in different way, and maybe that experience will help you to do it in a very better manner. So they are not there to run us down, said Nick. In 1990, Nick won the Australian Young Citizen of the Year award for his bravery and perseverance. See children, when you think about a disabled person, hardly with a torso, which is a very rare occurrence called phocomelia, he got the award for bravery and perseverance. It's not a small thing. He received an award for his bravery and perseverance. And once I was in a car and a girl at traffic light was looking at me interestingly. One day, what happened, Nick was driving on the way, and he came and he was in a car, and a girl at the traffic light was looking at me interestingly. Due to the traffic signal, the car was halted and a girl gave him an interesting look. She could only see my head, so I decided to do a 360-degree spin in the car, see, to freak her out. Her face was like, woo, what's going on? She sped off really quickly. So when the girl gave him an interesting look, he felt happy, but now he was sitting in the car seat and the girl could only see his torso. But the girl did not know that he doesn't have limbs, so he decided to freak her out. And he just did a 360-degree spin in the seat of car, and the girl was completely surprised how he could do, and she said, woo, she reacted like this, and she started moving with the high speed in her car. So she was surprised how a person could do a spin in the car, and it was completely spontaneously a different reaction which the girl got it, and she ran very speedily thinking it to be a ghost. Nick began traveling in the world, and in 2008, 28, he went to Hawaii and met surfing master Bethany Hamilton, who had her arm bitten off by a shark when she was 12. So, in the year 2008, he went to Hawaii, a place wherein to meet a surfing master, Bethany Hamilton, and who had her arm. This lady, she was a good, very great surfing master, and she got her arm bitten by a shark when she was trying to learn surfing. But she was a great master. He went to Hawaii to learn surfing from this lady. She was amazing, said Nick. And Nick was saying that this lady was very amazing. She taught me how to surf, and I was terrified at first. And first time when he went on the skateboard to surf, he was highly terrified. But Bethany Hamilton gave him the courage and trained him to be successful. But once I got up there, I felt absolutely fantastic. Once he went on to the surfing skateboard, and he started believing fantastic. And I caught some waves pretty well. And surfing is walking over the waves. So moving over the waves, and he could catch it so good that that gave him courage and inspiration to go on. Nick quickly learned how to do 360-degree spin on the board, and on the board itself he used to do the 360-degree spin, a feat that got him on the cover of Surfer magazine within 48 hours. Within 48 hours of learning this surfing and doing this 360-degree spin, he became so famous that he was on the cover page of the magazines. See, having your pic on the cover page of the magazine is not a simple thing. Only the famous celebrities get it, and within a short span of 48 hours, hardly 2 days, and he was on the cover magazine for his act. No one has ever done that in the history of surfing, he said. Earlier, before Nick, nobody did that 360-degree spin on the surfing board. But I have a very low center of gravity, so I have got pretty good balance. As he was a torso, he got a very low center of gravity, and which helped him to do that. So that was his added advantage for him, and I have got pretty good balance. He has visited different countries all over the world. The football fan is now a motivational speaker and has traveled over 24 countries, speaking to a group of up to 110 million people. So now you see that traveled to 24 different countries, speaking to a group of 110,000 people. He moved to Los Angeles 2 years ago in 2007 and plans to continue to travel the world. Now he is a motivational speaker. At a particular time in his life, he was lack of motivation. That's the reason why he tried to kill himself. But now he is a motivational speaker who is motivating lakhs and lakhs of people all over the world. If I fail, I try again and again and again. If you fail, are you going to try? Nick is asking us, if I fail, I am going to try again and again. Are you going to try that? The human spirit can handle much worse than we realize. It matters how you are going to finish. Are you going to finish strong? Said Nick. What Nick tells is, human spirit, we human beings have the ability to tolerate great things, but we do not train ourselves to tolerate or train ourselves to difficult situations. We just give up, raise our hands telling that I can't do. But he says that our human body, our human mind, it's all in our body which will help us to move further. And he said, the human spirit can handle much worse than we realize. It matters how we are going to finish. It only matters how we are going to finish. If Nick would have decided, once when he failed to drown himself in the bathtub, second time he would have tried and he would have been successful maybe. But that experience did not allow him to end his life like that. But that article, with newspaper article, gave him the courage to move further. So it is we who decide. It is our human mind that decides how we are going to end ourselves or finish ourselves. Are you going to finish strong? Said Nick. See, it is you who decide to be strong, or it is you who decide to be weak. Most of the people commit suicide for certain problems in their lives. But that is the decision which is a weak decision. They are not strong enough to overcome or fight the problem they are facing. Or maybe they have tried different ways and they were not successful and they became weak at certain point and they take that decision. But even Nick, if you go through this, even Nick every day, every moment, every second has gone through difficulties. But he did not give up. He decided to end up strong, so he ended strongly. I tell people to keep on getting up when they fail and to always love themselves. So he is requesting us all to get up whenever we fall. See, every day is not the same. Every day is a new day. Every experience is a new experience. But we may many times fail, but that should not allow us to stop and always love themselves. Getting up and when they fail and always love themselves, he said. If I can encourage just one person, then my job in this life is done. Nick Muji says, that in my life, if I am able to encourage at least one person, my work is done. See, we come across many people in our lives, but we cannot impress everybody who comes in our life. But if I am able to impress even one person in my life, my job of leading this life is done, he says. Body structure and looks are inborn. See how our body is structured, that is the God given qualities to us. But we do not choose or make our body. Do we choose our body? If we are given a chance to choose our body, everybody will choose themselves. But do we have that choice to choose our body? No. We need not take pride and feel ashamed of our looks or bad body structure. We need not feel proud when we are too good looking, or we need not feel bad if we are not pretty good. But pride or shame comes from our behavior. The pride feeling or the shame should come from how we behave. If we do a shameful act, we will feel shameful. If we do something, a good act, we feel proud about it. So our pride and shame should come from our acts and not our looks. We respect people and people respect us for our skills, behavior and qualities. We respect people and people on the other hand respect us only for our skills and our behavior and our qualities. By this we come to an end of this lesson. All of you go through this, read once again. I tried to cover all the difficult or new words which you have come across. Still, if you have, contact me, and the work for is read the lesson once again, once, twice, thrice carefully, understand every small aspect in detail and comprehend the lesson. Make at least 25 questions on your own from this lesson. Okay? Thank you, children. We'll see you in the next class. Bye.
Gracias.